Hello there, hilarious recap here. Today I am going to explain an American comedy film called Billy Madison. Watch out and take care. Billy Madison is a spoiled 27-year-old man like a child. All he does is drink, play silly pranks with his friends, and stare at nude magazines for hours. He has not grown a day since middle school. Much to his father Brianna's annoyance. Brian is the founder of one of the largest chain of restaurants in the US. He always had the wish to pass down his fortune to his son, but because of Billy's lifestyle, he is rethinking the decision. One day, Brian invites his business associates for dinner at his house. Two of the guests at the dinner are the company's executive vice president Eric and operations manager Carl. Eric and Carl are close to Brian and help him make all the important decisions about the company. Brian wants to officially announce his retirement, but Billy interrupts him every time he starts to talk. Eric doesn't like Billy and does everything he can to keep him childish so he wouldn't be appointed as the chairman of the company. He makes faces at Billy, making him yell gibberish. In the end, Brian yells at Billy to get out. Following that, he goes out with his friends to a fast food restaurant. As usual, they talk like kids and prank older people. Back in the mansion, Eric lays down all the childish things that Billy has said and done and convinces Brian he isn't eligible to take over the business. Carl, on the other hand, claims that there is still hope for Billy, but Eric dismisses him. In reality, he wants to be promoted as the president, so he is doing everything in his power to remove his biggest competition. Later at night, Brian calls Billy to his study room to inform him of something big. He reveals that he has decided to hand the business over to Eric, who he thinks is the most competent of being a president. Billy is in shock because his father has never denied to give him something, let alone their family business. He argues that Eric is cruel and uncaring, but Brian is adamant about his decision. He reveals that back when Billy was in high school, he had bribed the high school teachers to give him passing grades. Not just that, but every grade Billy ever passed was because Brian somehow bribed the teacher, including the second grade where he spelled back as BAK and still passed. Since Billy isn't even a high school graduate, there is no room for him to go against the decision. Desperate to be heard, Billy proposes a deal to his father. He promises to study in each grade of school for 2 weeks and pass them all. If he manages to do so, Brian will be sure of his worthiness and hand the company to him. But if he doesn't, Eric will be named the president. Brian likes the idea and makes some calls to get his son into the first grade. The next day, the housemaid Juanita makes Billy a lunchbox and sends him off to catch the school bus. He waits for it, but the bus passes by him without stopping. When he reaches the school with his father, the first person he sees is the third grade teacher, Veronica. She recognizes Billy as the spoiled rich kid and instantly dislikes him. Following the brief encounter, Billy goes to his class and meets his new little friends. He gets along with them pretty quickly because even though he is older, his personality is not different from theirs. They listen to stories, play dodgeball, sleep during nap time, and does the regular things that first graders do. After school, a kid's mother comes to pick him up and flirts with Billy. She is even more intrigued when her son informs her that he is his classmate. The next 2 weeks are fun for Billy. He makes friends with everyone in the class and is well liked by his teacher Miss Lippy. Although he sometimes accidentally eats glue, fights with the kids about video games, and has problems using the children's urinals, he is overall happy. After drawing a blue duck on a drawing test, he passes first grade and throws a huge graduation party for his friends. The party has a piñata stuffed with Rolex watches and expensive chocolates. His father, who had no faith in Billy, is pleasantly surprised that he passed. The only person not pleased about him passing the grade is Eric. He has even appointed the school's janitor to keep an eye on Billy. The second grade is more difficult than he had thought, especially because of the spelling tests. Billy goes against a little girl in a spelling competition, which he wins after spelling the word correctly. Because of the win, he passes third grade and throws an even bigger party. He invites all of his friends and plays with them on water slides. Eric is also at the party and is planning to do something big to make Billy fail. Finally, in the third grade, Veronica turns out to be his teacher. Although she picks on him and doesn't really like him, Billy is motivated to go to school just to see her. He creates trouble in her class simply to be noticed, making it clear that he likes her. One day, she finds him drawing pictures of a half-naked girl in his notebook. To teach him a lesson, she asks him to write a few words on the board in cursive handwriting. He does pretty well for the first few words, but cannot seem to write the letter correctly. Veronica makes fun of him in front of the entire class and humiliates him. Billy breaths out, shouting that he hates all of them, and runs home. The next morning, he pretends to be sick so he wouldn't have to go to school again. But maid Juanita tells him that he will have to help her shave her armpit if he stays home. Billy reluctantly goes to school, not wanting to face Veronica again. To his luck, she calls in sick that very day. In her place, the principal of the school, Mr. Anderson takes the class. During recess, Billy receives several cards since it is also Valentine's Day. He is the coolest guys in the class and is liked by many girls. After school, Billy and his third-grade friend, Ernie, hang out at his house. Billy misses Veronica and asks Ernie to call her to see if she likes him. 2. Ernie talks to her normally before asking her if she would date anyone from their class. Veronica calls Billy immature and ends the phone call. The next day is the school field trip. On their way to the location, some guys dare Billy to touch Veronica's chest. He happily accepts the challenge and pretends to fall on top of her. Veronica, on the other hand, playfully calls him out for it as the kids laugh at him. Later, Billy apologizes to her for what happened and she forgives him. Then, he notices Ernie standing alone in a corner and finds out that he has wet his pants. To help his friend, Billy also wets his crotch and claims that peeing yourself is cool. All the children follow his lead and wet their pants one after another. After seeing him help Ernie, Veronica starts to like Billy. In the following scene, Billy throws a third party on passing the third grade. This one is even bigger than the former two parties combined. Kids run around the huge weather park that he has arranged in front of his mansion. Veronica also comes to the party and gives him snack packs as a graduation gift. Billy shows her around as they talk about different things. They eventually end up inside a tent and are about to kiss when Carl interrupts them. He warns Billy of Eric, who is planning something for his downfall. Billy thanks him for the warning but doesn't think much. No answer to the question. On realizing that he is about to lose, he brings out a revolver, ready to shoot Billy dead. He is saved when Anderson, in his wrestling gear, tackles Eric. After recovering from the attack, he attempts to shoot Veronica, but before he can, he is shot by Danny, whom Billy apologized to earlier for bullying. In the following scene, Billy is at his graduation ceremony. He announces that he wants to pass the responsibility of his father's business on to Carl, who is more deserving than him. Billy also reveals that he plans to attend college in order to become a teacher. In the last scene, we see Eric walking away from the ceremony in crutches while the others celebrate. So guys, that's the end of the film. Hope you enjoy the video and please subscribe the channel for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like too. Thank you for watching.